Hello, namaste. Welcome to our yin and restorative yoga practice. My name is Michelle Chua. Make sure that you have quite a few props, such as a bolster, 2 blocks, a strap, and a blanket, and anything else that you think might be useful, because the more props you have, the more options you have to get yourself comfortable. So please find a comfortable way to start seated. You might like to sit up on a pillow or a folded blanket. Any way that you can relax into sitting tall and feel grounded. So we started yesterday's practice reading an article by Tara Brach, who is a mindfulness teacher and psychologist that I have learned so much from, on how to integrate yoga into our daily lives, especially in our mental health. And it was linked, or I linked this article to the Yoga Sutras practice called Pratipaksha Bhavanam, which is Sanskrit for when a negative thought arises, to think of the opposite. And that is a practice within the very first practice of yoga in the 8 limbs, which is ahimsa. And ahimsa means non-harm. So, what are the different ways that we can address negativity? This article is called How to Transform Negativity into Kindness. And yesterday's practice, the vinyasa flow, we talked about the first way. Today, I'm going to read the second way that Tara Brach writes about. So, remember that this is an addressing of our negativity bias, which for humans is natural to be looking out for what could go wrong because it's a survival mechanism. But when that is our default all the time, it can cause a lot of stress and be unhelpful. So here is the second way that we can transform negativity into kindness. And she writes, actively express compassion. When compassion arises, the next step is actively expressing it. This is what brings compassion fully to life. If you're working on self-compassion, look to the vulnerable part of yourself to sense what it most needs from you. In yesterday's practice, she was talking about when you're blaming yourself, when you're stuck in the self-blame, and looking underneath that, like, what is vulnerable inside of me that is hurting right now? And how can I give it compassion? So might it be forgiveness or acceptance, companionship, safety, love? What is the need that is underneath the vulnerability? Then, from the wisest, kindest place in your being, try to offer what's most needed. Either mentally or with a whisper, you might say your name and send a message of kindness to yourself. May I feel comfort. May I feel appreciated. So, whatever it is for you, and perhaps place a hand gently on your heart or cheek, or even give yourself a hug as a way of conveying from your more awake heart, I'm here with you, I care. And if you're working with compassion for others, it's powerful and healing to communicate your recognition of their suffering and your care. We all know that when we're with somebody we love, if we actually say the words, I love you, out loud, it brings the love to a new level. If you want to reverse your negativity bias with someone, to reverse your habits of blaming or distancing, look for their vulnerability. And then, either through prayer or in person, offer them understanding and kindness. So I'll read the third way in our Friday's yoga practice, but see what resonates with you from that focus on compassion today, that you can integrate with yourself and your body in our physical yoga right now. Let's take a moment to acknowledge whatever you're working with today, starting with your physical body. You might close the eyes, you might rest a hand on your chest, a hand on your belly, whatever helps you to tune into the sensations of your body. Observing anywhere it is calling your attention. Anywhere it's communicating its needs to you. Notice the quality of your breathing without changing or controlling it. And what you can sense in the breath, notice how your nervous system feels, how you feel energetically, so that you can meet yourself there. Observing your mind and your heart, what's present in you right now mentally and emotionally. And as you feel the surface that is holding your body from below, I invite you to press down into that more firmly and allow your spine to lengthen as you receive a deeper inhalation. Letting go through the mouth. Inhaling a little deeper, allow the sides of your rib cage to expand. And maybe sigh it out as you open the mouth. Breath by breath, becoming slightly deeper. As you continue to slow down your breathing, I invite you to think of 1 to 3 things about your day today that you feel gratitude for. Letting gratitude support you in opening your mind and heart. As you now set your intention or personal prayer for this practice, what are you choosing to focus your attention on and expand and nurture? Whether it be a general quality, feeling tone, like self-compassion, or something specific in any area of your life that you're creating a shift in right now. And then think of all the lives that you cross paths with and that you affect directly and indirectly. I invite you to choose someone you might like to dedicate your practice to today. And together, let's join our voices in support of each other and connecting with our Mother Earth by chanting her vibrational sound, Om, 3 times. Let in a deep breath. Ha. Let's begin a breathing technique called Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breath, that helps to balance our energy, especially as we start to move our bodies, and helps to bring calm and focus to our minds and bodies. So it's done by closing your lips and breathing just through your nose, and creating its gentle whispering sound by softly constricting the back of your throat. Slowing down the breath so that you're inhaling just as slowly as you're exhaling. Taking your time to reach the fullness and the emptiness of each breath. So as you can hear your breathing now, let it serve as an anchor for your mind, listening to the breath, knowing your attention is in the present moment, the only place the breath is happening. Start to create a slow rhythm that we're going to gently move our bodies to. Is today's focus, like throughout this week, is going upside down whether it be forward folds or other kinds of relaxing inversions. So let's start by coming down to all fours, hands and knees, tabletop. Spreading your fingers flat at the front of your mat, stack your shoulders on top of your wrists. Step your knees back a couple of inches behind your hips, and let's move the spine with a breath. Inhale, glide your chest forward and coil it up into cow pose. Exhale, contract your belly and drop the head to round cat pose. Several more times. Inhale, chest forward, roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale, lift the belly, drop the head, and dome your spine. Keep going. And if there's a different direction that your body needs you to move to loosen up, feel free to explore for several more breaths. You may want to have two blocks framing the top of your mat. And then come back to a neutral spine and tabletop, spreading your fingers flat. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And exhale, step your right foot gently forward beside the right thumb. Place your fingertips on your blocks or on the floor directly under your shoulders and tuck your back toes. Let's loosen up the backs of the legs here before we come into our inversions. So as you breathe in, sinking your hips, lift your heart, keep your feet where they are. Exhale, lift the back knee and plug the right thigh bone back to straighten your legs to whatever degree is comfortable and bow like you have a flat back. Pyramid pose. Inhale, lower the back knee, look up, kneeling lunge. Again, exhale, scissor the right hip back and fold pyramid. Let's keep going. 3 more cycles. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, kneeling lunge. And exhale, pyramid. Come back to or stay in pyramid and step your left foot forward another 5 to 6 inches, shorter stance. Grounding the back heel, straighten your legs, and square your hips so they're equally facing the front of your mat, pressing through both feet. Inhale, extend your heart through your upper arms, lengthening your spine. And then just be gentle. We're not trying to fold 100% of our degree, just folding in from the hips little by little. Relaxing, shoulders back so the neck feels long and the breath can flow easily. Slightly firming in the belly to support your lower back. Parsvottanasana, one more deep breath. And set your left knee back to the ground and place your hands and knees back to tabletop. And spreading your fingers into the earth. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, softly land the foot beside your left thumb. Fingertips on blocks or the floor right beneath your shoulders, tuck your back toes. As you breathe in, sink your pelvis, look up, lift your heart. Keep your feet where they are as you breathe out. Lift the right knee, plug the left thigh bone back as you extend the chest forward and fold pyramid pose. Again, inhale, kneeling lunge, look up. Exhale, wide pyramid. 3 more cycles. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's stay in pyramid longer. Step your right foot forward another 5 to 6 inches, dropping the back heel with legs straight. Turn both hips to equally face the front of your mat. As you press down through both feet, inhale, lengthen your chest through your upper arms, gliding your shoulders back. Little by little, exhale to fold from the hips. And again, we're not trying to get as deep as possible, especially since it's only the beginning of our practice. So find a gentle way to fold where you can keep the feeling of a flat back rather than rounding the shoulders. Couple more deep breaths. Now this time, look ahead of your left foot and step your right foot forward, hips distance or wider from your left foot. Bend your knees and drop the torso, drop the arms. Take hold of opposite elbows here, and let's add some gentle movement in your forward fold. Make sure your feet are parallel to each other, and then start to sway your spine side to side. Let your head hang as loosely as possible. Breathing in, breathing out. You might even bend one knee even deeper as you lean into your straighter leg, deepening the stretch into your hamstring, calf. And then you might even shake your head no, nod your head yes, really help relax the neck. You could even flutter your lips a few times to relax your jaw. And then let your arms go. Bend the knees even more and feel the stability of your legs as you release your head. Breathing in, slowly roll your spine upright like you're stacking one vertebra at a time. As you arrive towards the top, circle your shoulders forward and up. And exhale them back and down. Let's try a couple more. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Maybe even sigh, shoulders back and down. Ha, last time. Inhale, forward and up. Ah. And joining your hands in prayer, your heart center. Come back to your intention, the energy of what you are inviting in through this practice. And let's take a short half sun salutation, 3 rounds, moving meditation as you focus on slow, steady breath. Offering gratitude to the sun with Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, roll your shoulders back and look up. Exhale, feel free to bend your knees so that you bow as if you have a flat back. Press your hands on your shins, blocks, or the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, halfway up. Exhale, drop your head and fold. Press through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward to rise all the way, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, gather your palms in prayer at your heart center. Twice more, maybe close the eyes. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the sky. Exhale, bow towards the earth. Press with your hands. Inhale, lift your heart forward. Exhale, drop into yourself. Root down to your soles. Inhale, rise. Heart towards the sky. Exhale, recenter, palms in prayer. Last one, inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press to lengthen forward. Exhale, fold in. Rooting down, inhale, rise. And exhale, marry your palms at your heart center. Pausing here. Tune in for a couple of breaths, noticing anything you're feeling. And then this time, let's step the feet to face the wide width of your mat so you can come into a much wider stance. Parallel your feet and either clasp your hands behind your back like this. If you can, hug the heels of the palms together, or hold a strap between your hands so that you can space your hands as wide apart as needed to be able to lift the hands at least a foot away from your lower back. Make sure that your feet are parallel to each other. And as you breathe in, roll your shoulders behind you and look up. As you breathe out, shift your weight forward so your pelvis lines up with your ankles and bow from your hips. as if you have a flat back. So bend your knees any amount you might need in order to release the neck. And as you drop your head, you could give it some movement, stretching your arms further and further away from your lower back. Open your chest. By bending your elbows slightly, lift the shoulders as you drop the head, creating more space in your neck. Just a few more breaths in this variation of Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Let's add a gentle spinal twist while we're here. So begin to lower your hands either on blocks or the floor. Crawl your fingertips forward to lift your spine parallel to the ground. Place your right hand down on the floor, block front and center. Raise your left arm. As you breathe in, press down through both feet and stretch the crown of your head further forward. Glide your shoulders back. As you breathe out, keep both hips leveled and begin to turn your chest to your left side. Little by little, twisting at your waistline. Imagine you could breathe wide across your wingspan, letting the reach of your left fingertips towards the sky. Splay your left collarbone wide from the sternum. One more breath. And exhale, replace the right hand with the left. Reaching the right arm up, breathe in, stretch your spine further forward. Keep the pelvis still, breathe out, little by little twist to your right. One more deep breath. And lower both hands. Now from here, let's start to pivot to face the front of your mat into a lunge so that we can make our way down to sit with the legs in front of you. All right, we're gonna go right into a restorative inversion. And it requires either a wall or a bed or a couch or a chair. So if you have a wall that you can slide your mat up against, let's do that. Otherwise, if there's a couch or chair, you'll be placing your calves on top of the seat of that couch or chair or bed. So you want to be really close to the wall. Grab a block in case you'll want a little more boost of circulation. Here's one way that can help get into this pose more easily. So you want to have a seat. Oh, you can use the closet if you want, if that works. Or that one, whatever works more. So you want to have a seat with one outer hip flush against the wall to start. Have the block within arm's reach. And then lower onto your side in a fetal position. Bless you. So that your two glutes can touch the wall. And once your two glutes are touching the wall, you can roll over onto your back and be right into legs up the wall pose. And then once you're there, you can either keep your back flat on the floor, or if you wanted a little more boost of circulation, you can step your feet on the wall, bend your knees, and grab the block, lift your pelvis, slide the block wide underneath your sacrum. So right under the flat part of your lower back. All right, make sure that it's in a comfortable spot if you're using the block. It's not digging into your mid back. We're going to be here for several minutes. So make any adjustments. Also, I didn't mention earlier, if you need support, would like support for grounding, feeling more grounded, you could use your pillow or your blanket and place the weight of it on top of your pelvis and lower belly like this. And then you could extend the arms down by your side, slightly away from you with palms face up to help open the chest as you roll your shoulder bones back and down your back, lengthening your neck. Maybe close the eyes. And come back to listening to that gentle ocean wave sound at the back of your throat as you breathe into your nose slowly and out to your nose just as slowly. Let the exhalations naturally invite your body to a more relaxed stillness. As this posture, as do many inversions, stimulate your digestion and your circulation, you might also focus on breathing into your belly, which also supports digestion and relaxation. Letting the belly expand and rise as you breathe in, and letting the belly soften towards the spine as you breathe out. As you rest here a little longer, notice any sensations there is to notice. Feel into your breathing, and as you rest your awareness on it, let's be very gentle and gradual and beginning to step your feet onto the wall, bending your knees. If you have a prop on top of your belly, go ahead and set it aside. And just allow a couple more breaths with your knees bent. If you have a block under your sacrum, gently remove it, lowering your pelvis. Slowly, please turn over to your right side in a fetal position and just rest your head there for a few breaths. And working with whatever space you're in now, your physical space, find the path of least resistance into a more open space to be able to lie down on your back with your legs extended on the floor. Coming into a supine spinal twist. Draw your right knee towards your chest, taking hold of your right thigh or shin with your left hand. Open your right arm wide on the ground. Keep the right shoulder on the floor. Scoot your pelvis slightly to the right. Begin to cross your right thigh over your body breath by breath for just about 10 deep breaths. Just finding the range of your twist in which your right shoulder can remain on the ground. Last 2 deep breaths here. And after this exhalation, slowly roll onto your back and straighten your right leg to the floor and just pause in corpse pose for a couple of breaths. Just observing anything you notice internally. And take your time, draw your left bent knee towards your chest. Take hold of your left knee or shin with your right hand and scoot your pelvis towards the left side. Open your left arm wide on the ground. Keep the left shoulder down and begin to cross your left thigh over your body to the right. Only going as far as the left shoulder can stay on the floor. Feel the length of your breath in. Balance it with the length of your breath out. Last two deep breaths. And gently roll onto your back. Slide your legs forward. Come back to corpse pose just for a couple of breaths to observe the effects of that asana. And then bend both knees into your chest. Maybe rock a little side to side, massaging your back on the ground, or maybe forward and back. You could even choose to circle the thighs apart and together, giving yourself a few last clearing exhales, maybe some sighs or lion's breaths. Lion's breath is a releasing breathing technique in which you inhale deeply through the nose and you open the mouth wide, stick out the tongue, and exhale any sound that feels releasing for you. It can be helpful to unpack any remaining tension that you want to let go of. This time, gather your knees in tightly towards your chest. Lift your head and shoulders and round into a ball as you squeeze in. Let in a deep breath and hold it for a few seconds. Maybe hug yourself a little tighter as you sip in a little more air. And with a really slow exhalation, open the mouth, release your limbs to splay out onto the floor. Arriving in your final resting pose, notice if you want to use any props for your comfort, like a pillow under the backs of the knees for lower back support, blanket, and then allow your entire body to relax in stillness as you let go of all effort, including in the breath, dropping deeper inward into a space of loving awareness. We'll be in Shavasana for a few minutes before we sit for 5 minutes in meditation. Bring your awareness back to your physical body and notice how it feels. Be gentle with yourself as you begin to slowly move your body, wiggling fingers, toes. Ease into a simple stretch. And turning over onto your right side, resting your head. Pause for a few moments to observe your breathing and notice how your energy feels now. And take your time lifting your body up. Please find a comfortable way to sit for 5 minutes sitting in meditation. Position your body in a way that you feel alert, relaxed, and grounded. You might also place your hands in a mudra that supports focusing, such as Gyan Mudra, resting the palms face up on your lap and bringing the thumb and first fingers to touch. If it resonates with you, you could close your eyes. Otherwise, you could steady a gentle downcast gaze. Start by feeling the breath without controlling the breath. As you continue to rest awareness very gently on the waves of natural breath, I invite you to notice what feels most alive in your heart right now. Whether it be a physical sensation, an emotion, or layers of emotions, something more subtle through felt sense. And in the practice of self-compassion, like we talked about in the beginning of this practice, if it makes sense to you, you could rest a hand gently on your heart center and the second hand on top to acknowledge whatever you're feeling in your heart right now. And I invite you to ask your heart, what does it need? And remember that whatever you are feeling in this moment is part of our common human experience. That all emotions are valid. What is a gesture of kindness you could give to yourself in this moment? This could be a mental wish, such as, may I feel my own care for my heart. Or may I feel safe in my body right now. Notice what you're feeling now mentally and emotionally. Sensing the overall effects of your practice today. As we close this practice, I invite you to think of someone or something that you might recognize with gratitude, especially in the area of teaching you about compassion. Now, this could be a formal teacher in the past, or it could be a situation, or someone through your experience with them has opened up your understanding of compassion in some way. And so with gratitude, I invite you to return to the intention you set. And remember to whom you dedicated this practice. And like we began, let's close, joining our voices in 3 ohms. Let in a deep breath. Ha. How. How. And bowing in towards your heart center to honor the light within. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.